What is going on, guys? I thank you all for joining me, and today we're going to be finding out what is inside the new versus the old Yozuri Crystal minnow magnums. Everybody knows what the Yozuri Crystal minnow is. It's been around for quite some time. It's been a top producing lure, and it's kind of been playing second fiddle lately to the very popular SP minnow and their other mag darter. So they came out with a new design maybe a year or two ago, maybe even longer, I don't know. And I've always wondered what differences came along with the redesign. So I invite you all to join me on the journey to find out what's inside. This never gets old. All right, now before we go ahead and chop these bad boys up, let's go ahead and compare the obvious. If you look at the baits, they are very similar, but Yozuri changed the eyeball to a fancier, more refractive one. And it looks like they have some facets cut on the inside of the body that kind of give it more of a, I don't know, something. And if you look, 39 grams, this is the old one. My scale is as accurate as it can possibly be because it's made in China. 41.37 grams. If you look at the new Magnum, barely heavier. It actually comes in less. So their weights are pretty similar, and it looks like the hooks and rings used on the new one are a little bit more beefy. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison of weight of the hooks. 2.5556 grams for the old hooks. These are definitely of a heavier wire gauge. 2.56 for the old. 3.09 for the new. So is the body itself of the old heavier? Let's remove all the split rings because we don't need them on here. So 34.1. And for the old one, so the old minnow bait itself is actually a little heavier. So the new one claims to be 1.5 ounces. The other one 1 ounce and 3/8, but the old one's actually heavier than the new one if you don't take in consideration the hardware. So you have the new hooks and the old hooks. Now, I'll tell you what Yozuri's done with their new hardware, I really do like. The new hooks that they've been using are very strong, very sharp, and they hold up to or resist corrosion very well. That was interesting. We already learned something already. The baits aren't really that much different in overall weight. You can actually weigh these down a bit more if you add the similar hardware. Interesting. And these are both floaters. And moving right along, at least to me, it looks like the hook hanging hardware is the same. At least the wire diameter is the same. So let's go ahead now and get inside. So what we're going to do, we're going to start on the belly. Give it a second to cool down. Boom, headshot. Damn. All right. Let's go ahead now and take a look at this guy. Feels like a different kind of plastic. Wow. The whole side of it melted out. That stinks. Alright, so now we just gotta let this cool off for a little bit. This plastic definitely is different than the other one. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's go ahead now and see if we can't crack them open. Ah! Oh, that's gonna be a problem for getting a date. Oh, there goes the other one. Be a lonely Friday night. Alrighty, now onto the new one. There we go. Boom. Ah, it's stuck on the inside on the other half. Okay. So, what did we learn today? Absolutely nothing. Well, the new one may be new, but the old one's got more balls. Interesting. I'll tell you what, this little plate here, I honestly thought had something to do with the hanging hardware. All it is a fixed weight that I guess is shiny enough to refract a little bit. Who'd have thunk it? So they're relying on the faceted mold of the body on the inside. It's smooth on the outside, it's just faceted on the inside to kind of work its distorting magic on this little piece of mylar. Interesting, I guess. So for those of you that like loading your plugs, if you compare the old one to the new one, guys, you may want to pick up a couple of the new ones and load the crap out of them, because that entire body cavity is wide open and it looks like the channel for the through harness, the wiring harness, is completely isolated from anything in here. So if you do decide to drill through the top, which you can pretty much drill anywhere on the top, you can load this to your heart's content with whatever you want, and you don't ever have to worry about it interfering or leaking out of the harness or anything like that. That's pretty cool. And if you look at the tail of the lure, you can see how it is fully embedded in plastic. And you can see that's the same on the old one as well. But if you look on the old one, you have all these channels and chambers. So if I'm not mistaken, you have a small ball there and a large one. It might have been one of these. Whereas I think the new one, here we go. I think I got this backwards. That one had a big ball on the chin. YouTube's going to demonetize me for that. So I think we had something like this on the old one, with maybe another ball somewhere up there. I don't know. We'll check the footage. But they're individually chambered. So if you do decide to load it with any kind of liquid or BBs, you're going to kind of run into issues, because they're never going to settle where they should. So the old one, Old West on Stripers Online, you had a question a while back. I'm sorry it took me so long to get these lures cut open for you. I would not suggest loading the old one. the brand spanky new one, hell, load it with whatever you want. You can load it with a dyed color or pigmented liquid, and it'll throw a different kind of effect with the Mylar tape. Now, how it affects the action, I don't know, how many cc's of what you can put in here, but that was interesting. Very interesting. I did not expect that. I honestly thought their construction was going to be almost identical. Very interesting. So not only is it a kind of a new style in getting their colors out, it's a totally redesigned plug, head to toe. The only thing identical to it is the bottom half of the lure. All right, well, I don't know how much more detail I really need to go into. We don't have to go into the wire diameters of the harness. What kind of eyeballs do they use? Well, nothing really important. Nothing really important. Yeah. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. If you're not already a subscriber, become part of the community and the conversation. Become a subscriber. I would like to see you guys down on a regular basis in the comment section below. And until next time, guys, tight lines, and I'll see you soon.